You can, yeah, go ahead and into your verse.
Well, Papa learned to drive just like Bonnie and Clyde in his modified 47 Ford. He set his wheels on fire trying to push that needle.
So anyway, we're looking for songs for the new CD, Easy Climb, and I handed Keith probably 80 songs, which wasn't fair of me. And he heard this one in about 3 seconds. That was a done deal. He said, well, that's a definite for the album.
Black snake sliding down that mountainside, trying to shake the longing on my daddy's hide.
So this is my wonderful friend Marc Rossi, who does a lot of co-writing with me. And the funny thing is, I only met him by mistake. There was a guy in town, or there still is a guy in town named Marc Rossi, and he's a big old cowboy songwriter, and he's about 6'5", big as a barrel. And I had gone to see him in a show and thought he was just wonderful. And Kathy the next week says, hey, I've got you a writing appointment with this guy named Marc Rossi, and I think I heard his stuff, and I think you'd be wonderful writing with him. And in my head, I thought she said Marc Rossi, so I was like, cool, I just saw him. I had this conversation with Kathy. I just saw him. I think he's fantastic, you know. And so she wasn't in the office that day, and there's a knock on the door, and it was time for the writing appointment. I opened the door, and there's another guy. And I thought, well, maybe he had the wrong door. And he said, hi, I'm Marc Rossi. And I was like, oh, she said Marc Rossi. We wrote a song immediately. Like in 2 hours we were done. I thought, wow, that was easy. You just don't meet writers that you write that easily with.
It does kind of come together sometimes, because writing is such an odd thing. You can have two great writers individually, but it's like dating. If the chemistry isn't there, it just doesn't happen. And you both go your merry way and find somebody that you are more compatible with. Well, Donna and I just kind of clicked, and
I love his melodies, and I fancy myself being stronger with a lyric. So I remember you striking 2 chords on the guitar and me going, wow, this guy's a good melody guy.
But also, both of us are kind of adaptable on how we write, because some people have it down, this is the way we're doing it, and whatever that technique is, but we're able to write from a song from an existing melody and put a lyric to it, or she can have an existing lyric and I can put a melody to it, or we can have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, which we've had a lot. I got nothing.
And we just build it from the ground floor up and see what we can
One thing I love about Marc is that he will take, I write a lot. When I write a lyric, I always have melody going, and he will always adapt some part of my melody into his melody. So I always appreciate that you're willing to stick with the original thought anyway.
Well, I think that just comes from the fact that what inspired you had merit to it, and that there are the seeds of greatness in.
Could you say that a little closer to the mic? That was a good point.
I was just BSing. I was making it sound. John paid the bills thanks to Daddy's copper skill, and there weren't none better for a country mile.
The NASCAR started because they were running moonshine out of the mountains. When my papa came over to this country from Italy, he bought this old big chicken farm, and he had a barn as long as a football field. And the way that he made extra dollars during the Prohibition was he let moonshiners store their sugar in his chicken barn. And my dad's favorite story about that, because I was at home at a family reunion telling them about this song, my uncle said that actually they stored a little hooch there too, not just the sugar. And he said one time he remembers, my daddy said, they always gave my papa $20 when they'd come out and leave the bags of sugar, you know, which was a ton of money then. And he said one time papa came in the house and he was showing it to my nana, the $20 bill, because that was always a big that was a big reason to celebrate. He pulls open the bill, and it was a $50 bill. He said he had to sit down, and because he grabbed his head and was sitting down staring at this $50 bill. The guy had accidentally given him a 50. And so then the dilemma was, should I tell the guy that it was just a 50 when he comes back?
Right.
So he tells the guy, and the guy said, no, I meant to give you 50 for that. You're good to us. And my papa go, you know, then they really celebrated. But so that's where that part came from.
Fetch the highest price, you wait the dark to go to town. You learn to take those
And then my daddy was a drag car racer.
the fastest kid in town.
Yeah, he was. My daddy was the fastest dude. So that's where the song was born. We took all of that.
Like snake sliding down that mountainside, trying to shake the low man on my daddy's high. Oh, Papa and that black snake cut a crooked road.